A GP consists of an even number of terms, and if the sum of all the terms is 5 times the sum of the terms occupying odd places. So let the terms be like this: T1, T2, T3 and up to T2n, right? What will be the previous term? T2n minus 1. Why have I taken T2n? Because I need to take even number of terms, so I have taken total number of terms equal to 2n. Okay, now read the question. If sum of all the terms is 5 times, that means this sum T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus so on T2n minus 1 plus T2n is 5 times the sum of terms occupying odd places. Which are those terms? T1, T3. So T1 plus T3, next term will be T5. What will be the last term? T2n minus 1, right? Now this is 5 times T1 plus T3 plus T5. If I separate these T1, T3 and up to T2n minus 1 and bring them on the right hand side, this is 5 times this, and I am bringing T1 plus T3 plus T2n minus 1 from the left hand side. So this will remain 4 into this. So what I am saying is, if I keep T2 plus T4 plus and so on till T2n on the left hand side, and I bring this T1 plus T3 plus T5 on the right hand side. So what I am taking on the right hand side is this T1 plus T3 plus up to T2n minus 1. So this will be 4 into this sum. Till now I haven't done anything, right? This is the question. This is what is written in the question. I need to find the common ratio. So what is this sum? This is a GP, right? So what if T1, T2, T3, this was a GP, what was it like? It was like AR squared, AR cubed, AR raised to power 4 and so on. But if you look only T2, T4, then T6, this is also a GP, right? Because this term you can obtain by multiplying R squared in this. So this is also a GP, right? This series is a GP, geometric progression. Okay, sum of geometric progression where first term is, let us write it as first term. First term is AR, common ratio is R squared, right here, and number of terms is obviously n. Number of terms is n. Why n? Because total I had 2n terms, out of which n were even and n were odd. I am not saying those terms were odd or even. N were at the odd places, n were at the even places. So if I count these terms, these are n terms. So if you are given these three information, you can write the sum of these terms. Let us look at here. Here T1 if it is a, T3 if it was AR squared, T5 it was AR raised to power 4. Then you notice this is also a GP because you can obtain this term by multiplying R squared here. This term by multiplying R square in the second term. Right? So this is also a GP. And how many terms are there? This GP has also got n terms, because I am counting these odd terms only, 1 plus 3 plus 5, 2n minus 1. How many terms are these? These are n terms, because if you put n equal to 1, you will get first term, right? If you put n equal to n, you will get the last term. If you put n equal to 2, you will get the second term. I leave it to you how you think about it, but these are n terms. And I have explained it the other way also, that if you have got 2n total terms, out of that n terms will be placed at even places. Out of that n terms will be placed at odd places. So these are n numbers where first term is a, common ratio is r square. So first term is a, common ratio is r squared, and number of terms is n. So let us now put left hand side equal to right hand side by writing the formula. So sum of this GP that is there on the left hand side is first term common ratio raised to nth power. So r squared raised to nth power will become r raised to power 2n minus 1 common ratio minus 1. So this is my left hand side, and on the right hand side I have 5 into this sum, right, of which first term is a. So let me write first term common ratio raised to nth power minus 1 divided by common ratio minus 1. So this is the equation that I got out of the given information. And if you see, this is pretty simple. R cannot be equal to 1, right, because then this will not be defined. R cannot be equal to 1. Okay, why do I say that? Because in that case this sum will not be defined. The denominator will become 0. Okay, so if R cannot be equal to 1 or minus 1 is also not possible, because that will also make this denominator, that will also make this sum not defined. So if it cannot be 0, that means if R cannot be 1 or minus 1, so this denominator cannot be 0, then this term, this also cannot be 0. So what I can do is, why am I saying all this? Because I want to cancel this and this, and you cannot cancel things blindly, because if they can be 0, then they cannot be cancelled. In that case, why do I say that? Because if let us say you write 3 into some x and 5 into x, this is a very simple example. If I cancel these x blindly, 3 will be equal to 5, right? Because in this x was 0. No, this is not a perfect example. Let me tell you something else. But the point I want to make is that if 3 into 0 is written as 5 into 0, these two are equal, right? But if I cancel this 0 with this 0, 3 will be equal to 5, which is a weird result, right? Which is not true. So I cannot cancel zeros on both sides. So that is why I gave the explanation that this cannot be 0. So I am cancelling this. This cannot be 0. I am cancelling this. And a is the first term. It also cannot be 0. So I am cancelling this also. So r is equal to 5. R is equal to 5. Is that what we had to find? Yes, we had to find the common ratio, and it is equal to 5. Let us have a look once again at the final result. This should be 4 here, not 5, right? Because after this manipulation, after this we had 4 here, not 5. So R will come out to be equal to 4. Okay, rest everything is okay. All right, so common ratio is 4. Let us move to the next question. The sum of first 4 terms of an AP is 56. So if I write this AP as A plus D, A plus 2D, and A plus 3D. Let us say these are the first 4 terms. Their sum is 56. So I am writing this statement first, okay, mathematically. Then I will proceed to the next statement. So their sum is equal to 56. And what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 A's and 1, 3, 6 D's. So 4a plus 6d is 56. And sum of last 4 terms. Okay. So let us say this AP has got n terms. So I'll write last 4 terms like this. And their sum is equal to 112. Alright. And the first term is 11. So let me place it here. First term is 11, means 4 into 11 plus 6d will be equal to 56. So this is 44. 6d is equal to 56 minus 44, that is 12. So d is equal to 2. This is one of the results that I've got, that the common difference is 2. Okay, and first term I already know is 11. So first term is 11. Common difference is 2. Alright, I need to find the number of terms. So let us use this now. This is an, which is a plus n minus 1 into d. Right? So obviously the term previous to it will be a plus n minus 2 into d. And the term previous to it will be a plus n minus 3 into d. And it will be a plus n minus 4 into d. Okay, so how many, and this is equal to 112. How many a's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 into a. So 4a plus. How many d's are there? So this is n minus 1, this is n minus 2, this is n minus 3, this is n minus 4. Total 4n minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4. What will it amount to? 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. So total minus 10d. Okay. This is how we will write it. 4 is then 4n into d. Okay, there I am forgetting this bracket here. So total 4n minus 10 into d, and it is equal to 112. A I know is 11, so let me put it here. So this will become 44 plus 4n minus 10. D is 2, so let me put it here. It is equal to 112. So now this question has become very simple. 4n minus 10 into 2 is equal to 112 minus 44, which is equal to 12 minus 4 is 8, 10 minus 4 is 6. So it is equal to 68. And 4n minus 10 is equal to 68 upon 2. So that is equal to 34. So 4n is equal to 34 plus 10, that is 44. So what can you say about n? N is equal to 11. Alright. I hope there was nothing difficult in this question. Let us look at this one. Now we need to show that A, B, C, D are in GP. So if we can show that B by A is equal to C by B is equal to D by C, then I can say that A, B, C, D are in GP. So what have I written here? That any term divided by its previous term will be equal to another term divided by its previous term. That is the property of a geometric progression. Because these three terms that I have written are nothing but common ratios or common ratio. Okay. So out of this given expression, I need to prove this. And whenever I see expressions like this, these ratios, I immediately componendo and dividendo strikes. Componendo and dividendo. What is this? If let us say m by n is equal to a by b, then by componendo and dividendo I can say m plus n divided by m minus n will be equal to a plus b divided by a minus b. This is a result that you need to memorize and you need to keep in your mind. Just to verify, if you want to verify it, use some simple ratios to verify it, like this. These two ratios we know are equal. So let us apply componendo and dividendo. This will become 1 plus 2, 1 minus 2, 3 plus 6 divided by 3 minus 6. Check whether these two are equal. you will find that these two ratios are equal. Both are equal to -3. So what I am planning is, I am planning to apply componendo and dividendo on these ratios. So if I do that, I can write this as a plus bx plus a minus bx divided by a plus bx minus a minus bx. So it will become minus a plus bx here. What I have done is, I have applied componendo and dividendo. This one will become b plus cx plus b minus cx divided by b plus cx minus b minus cx. So b plus cx here. Okay, and similarly c plus dx plus c minus dx, c plus dx minus c minus of minus dx, that is plus dx. Now let us check. Bx is cancelled, a can be cancelled here. So the first ratio is 2a divided by 2bx, and it is equal to cx can be cancelled, b can be cancelled. So 2b divided by 2cx, and it is equal to 2c divided by 2dx, right? And we can further, you see x is there in all of these terms, and these two can be cancelled directly. So I can get rid of x also. I can directly write it as a by b equal to, this is b by c is equal to c by d, right? And if I can write it like this, I can write it in reciprocal form also. I can write it like this also. B by a will be equal to c by b will be equal to d by c. Hence I can say a, b, c, d are in GP. You could have said it here also, but it is more appropriate that we write any term divided by its previous term. Okay, because the common ratio is defined as this, that any term divided by its previous term. Okay, but if you look at it the other way around, that any term divided by its next term will also give me a ratio that will be common if you divide any term divided by its next term. But that is not what we call a common ratio. Okay, in a GP, common ratio is a term divided by its previous term. So I think now it is proved that these are in GP. Okay. Let us do one more question here. S be the sum, P be the product, R be the sum of reciprocals of n terms in a GP. So we are talking about a GP. Let us take this GP as A, AR, AR squared, and what will be the nth term? AR n raised to power, AR raised to power n minus 1. Okay. S is the sum. So S is equal to, we know the sum directly, so I'll write it like this. AR raised to power n minus 1 divided by R minus 1. P is the product. In some of the questions we have also spoken about product of all of these terms. These are n terms written here. So a raised to power n, and this starts from r raised to power 0 and goes up to r raised to power n minus 1. So r will be raised to, now this 0 if you write or don't write won't make a difference. So let us write 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to n minus 1. This is how we write the power of r, which we can further write as a raised to power n r raised to power n minus 1 into n divided by 2. This is sum of first n minus 1 natural numbers. Okay, so I have written S, I have written P. What about R? R is the sum of reciprocals. So it is 1 upon A plus 1 upon AR plus 1 upon AR squared and so on, plus 1 upon AR raised to power n minus 1. If I take this as my LCM, then in the denominator I will write AR raised to power n minus 1, and here I will have R raised to power n minus 1. Here I'll have R raised to power n minus 2, right? Why? Because I've got r here. So how do we write these powers? What do I multiply this r with to obtain this? That will be written here. So if you multiply this r with r raised to power n minus 2, you will obtain r raised to power n minus 1. So similarly, here I'll write r raised to power n minus 3 and so on. In the end, here I will write 1, right? Previous to it, there will be r raised to 1, r raised to single power. Previous to it, I'll have r squared. This is how the powers of r are going. They are decreasing, right? R raised to power n minus 1, r raised to power n minus 2 and so on, right? So this is also a pretty simple, this is a GP, right? And in the denominator, let me write a r raised to power n minus 1 and this GP, sum of this GP as, now let us take this as our first term, 1. So a and r is the common ratio, let me write r here. And what should it be raised to? How many terms are these? These are n terms because I am starting with 1 here, which is r raised to power 0. So I am starting with 0 and going up to n minus 1. So there are n terms in total. So r raised to power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. This is the r, that is sum of reciprocals. Okay, I need to prove this relationship. P squared into r raised to power n is equal to s raised to power n. So let me start with the left hand side, p square into r raised to power n. Okay, and let me see if it comes out to be equal to s raised to power n. So what is p squared? Square of this is equal to a raised to power 2n, because I am writing the square, right? And while writing the square of this term, this 2 will vanish. So r raised to power n minus 1 into n. This is the square of p or p squared, and I need to multiply it with r raised to power n. So this entire term raised to power n. So let us write it like this: r raised to power n minus 1 divided by a r raised to power n minus 1 into r minus 1, and this entire expression raised by n. Okay, so let us simplify it. A raised to power 2n into r raised to power n minus 1 into n into r raised to power n minus 1 raised to power n divided by a raised to power n into r raised to power n minus 1 into n. I am raising every one of these terms to nth power. So a raised to n I have written here, r raised to power n minus 1 raised to power n can be written like this into r minus 1 raised to n. Now you see this and this can be completely cancelled, and out of this 2n, this n will go. So this term here, a raised to power 2n, can be written as a raised to power n. So I am cancelling this. You don't do this because this is not appropriate. You write it in the next step. Okay. Why do I say that this is not appropriate? Because examiner may not understand what you have done here. But I am explaining it here verbally so you understand what I am doing. Okay. So this is effectively a into r raised to power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1 raised to power n, right? And this is a raised to power n here. I have just cancelled this 2, not this n. Alright, so I can club this also inside because the powers are same, so I can write it like this: a r raised to power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1, this entire expression raised to nth power. Why do I write this? Because this is s and this expression is s raised to power n, which is my right hand side. Okay, so this is how we prove it. if pth, qth, rth terms of an AP are A, B and C. So let us write the pth term as capital A plus P minus 1 into D. So I am using capital A for the first term and capital D for the common difference. A, Q, why? Because small a is already used here for something else, for a number. So A plus Q minus 1 into capital D, and rth term will be A plus R minus 1 into D. It is equal to A, it is equal to B, it is equal to C. I need to show this expression. So Q minus R minus P, P minus Q can be generated from these terms. How? From these three equations, 1, 2 and 3. So let me show you how to generate Q minus R. If you subtract third from the second, what will happen is A will get cancelled, and from Q minus 1D, R minus 1D, what will remain is Q minus R into D. So if I subtract 2 minus 3, this is what I am doing. A will get cancelled, and here I'll get Q minus R into D, right, equals B minus C. So my plan is to write Q minus R equal to B minus C by capital D. Okay, this is what I've written. So my plan is to replace this Q minus R with this term. Similarly, I will replace R minus P with something else. What will I replace R minus P with? So let me see how to generate R minus P. If I subtract first equation from the third, I will have R minus P into capital D equal to C minus A. Right? So if you cannot write it directly, then what you do is you subtract first equation from the third and see for yourself. A will get cancelled and R minus P into D will be equal to C minus A. Okay, so R minus P can be replaced by C minus A by D. Similarly, I will look for P minus Q. P minus Q can be generated by subtracting second equation from the first. So I'll have P minus Q into D equal to A minus B. So P minus Q will be equal to A minus B by D. Now let me replace these by what I've got here. So Q minus R I'm replacing by B minus C upon capital D, and outside I have A. R minus P I am replacing by C minus A by D. B here. P minus Q I am writing as A minus B by capital D, and I will write C here. So this is my left hand side of the expression. I will check whether it comes out to be 0 or not. So let us check, or let us show that it is equal to 0. So the denominator is common, so let me write it outside D, and numerator is BA minus CA here, and CB minus AB, and AC minus BC. Let me see if they can be cancelled. AB, AB, AC, AC, CB, CB. So everything got cancelled. 0 by D is 0, which is my right hand side. Right? Pretty simple question. Alright.